behind, Introduction to the Laservault Universal Backup Device. I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to attend. My name is Sean Callahan. I'm one of the iSeries experts here at Barry-Wehmiller International, specializing in backups and disaster recovery. As a full-service provider for the iSeries, we're constantly looking for the opportunity to bring exciting technologies such as Laservault's Universal Backup Device to the attention of our customers. This is one such opportunity, obviously. I'll be muting the audio for the duration of the presentation. I'll restore audio at the conclusion for questions. That said, I'm going to turn the presentation over to our guest presenter, Accent Center of Laservault. So,
good morning. Go ahead and make, there we go.
There you go, X.
Okay. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to talk about UBD, Universal Backup Device, this morning. And I'm going to start with the iSeries side. Now, Universal Backup Device is basically software that we developed that runs on a Windows server or Windows machine that emulates a tape device. Now, the connectivity between the iSeries and the UBD is fiber channel. So if we just go here to a quick diagram, show a couple different scenarios on how you might set up UBD as your backup device via fiber channel connectivity to the iSeries, and then how you might store those backups. And there's several different ways you can store your backups. You can store them on the server that's running the UBD tape emulation software, or you can store the backups to a SAN or NAS or deduplication appliance, external disk for portable offsite storage if you want. You can also create tapes from UBD with the dupe tape command. So the software that we developed, the Universal Backup Device tape emulation software, once you make the connectivity between the server that's running that software and the iSeries via fiber channel, if you have auto configuration turned on, then you will see that as a new tape device on your iSeries, or if you don't, you can go ahead to the hardware resources and create a device description for the tape drive that is UBD. Now, some major advantages of fiber channel connectivity to a Windows server running UBD is speed of the backup. So if you look at comparisons between the LTO tape drives and UBD, you can see a considerable speed in the backup process. So we're having customers that are cutting their backup time basically in half. Because some of the speed does depend on how fast the iSeries will read the data from disk. So that depends on how it's configured, processing speed, RAID, that kind of stuff. But a lot of times what we're seeing is the backup time cut in half. Also, the nice thing about being that it's tape emulation, customers can run full system saves and IPL, use this as an alternate IPL device from the iSeries. So let's take a look at UBD as configured on our Power 7 machine. I'll just go into the tape devices. This Power 7 machine does not have a tape device. It has a couple of UBD tape drives that are connected to the iSeries here to this Power 7 machine. So tape 14 is the device I'm going to use for the UBD server connection. So if you're using regular save live commands, save object commands, or if you're using BRMS, you can use this tape device, the UBD tape device, for your saves. If you're using Go Backup, you could use that as well, or Robot Save. You could that is compatible as well to use those types of backup software products to back up to this system. Now there's a web interface for accessing your backups. With a password, you're able to log in and see the backups that are on the UBD server. Now, one single UBD server can have up to 8 fiber channel connections. Now, that may represent each partition on the iSeries may have its own fiber channel connection, or each iSeries that you are connecting may have its own fiber channel. So in this case, we have them listed as tape 0, 1, 2, and 3, these 4 fiber channel connections. When you configure the web interface, you can label these connections whatever you would like to match the partition or the system that they're connected to. So you might have production, development, web, domino, whatever types of partitions that you've got connected. If you do have multiple connections, you can back up those partitions or systems at the same time. So I'm going to click on this connection and see the backups that are available. Now, when we talk about storing of the disk storage for the backups, the location of the storage. The location, again, can be a disk drive that's on the UBD server. The location could point to a network-attached storage or storage area network, whatever. If you have existing storage that you want to utilize to store your iSeries backups, you can set up the UBD to point to that particular storage through a UNC path, CIF share path, etc. So once you see the connection, you can see these. The left-hand column here is tape image. So each of these entries here are individual backups, and you can see they're listed by date. So we're creating tape image files based on the system date in this example. And so when you create one of these tape image files and you initialize it, you can see the volume label to the right of the tape image file. Then you're ready to do a save. And there's 2 ways to perform saves. One is to create several of these for a daily rotation. So if you have a 7-day or a 14 or 15-day rotation, you may go ahead and create those tape images for the rotations. And then for the next one that you need to use, you would simply mount that tape image, and I'll show you the commands to do that in a minute on the iSeries side, so that you can then initialize that tape image file and save to it. So if you consider, if you think of the tape image file as like a tape. Now the nice thing about disk storage in this example is that a single tape image file can contain an entire backup, whether it's your daily save, a full system save, etc. So if your backups span more than one tape, that's not the case here. One backup can reside in one tape image file, so it makes it pretty easy to manage that. Now I'm going to scroll down here and take a look at some saves that we have. We have an all-user save here. We have a full system save down here. Now you can click on the volume and see the list of all the libraries within the save. So you can kind of scroll here and see everything that was saved. If you need to restore something from this tape image file, it's pretty easy. Just click on the file and then click load. That is now a mounted volume. You can see that it's labeled mounted. So now you can do a restore live, restore object, restore if you were restoring a member from an object, IFF, whatever's in that save, you're now able to do just a restore just like you would normally from tape. The restores are extremely fast because we are keeping a pointer file to where the file is located that you might be restoring. So it doesn't have to stream through the entire file before it locates what you're trying to restore. It'll go right to the part of the file that needs to be restored and do that immediately. So restores are also very fast and very convenient as well, because this is not you're not having to load a tape, physically load a tape, physically retrieve a tape, physically wait on the tape, wait on the restore, that kind of thing. It's really just you go here, you click on it. Now if you're running BRMS, you can go into BRMS and do your restores. So you can select your objects, your libraries that you want to restore. Once you've mounted the volume, you can go right into BRMS and do your restores. Now also, some of the other information here, the software has compression. You can see the C tag right here for compression. You see that this backup received an 8-to-1 compression ratio. So 45 gig 46 gig turned into 5.6 gig. And that's I've seen that in other places as well, as a 10 to 1, anywhere from 8 to 10 to 1 compression. Now, if you have more IFS backup in these saves, then that may drop to 5 to 1. So that's a lot of times what we see is on average a 5 to 1 compression, which is a heck of a lot better than tape. Then you'll also see the date that the actual file was created, the date that it was updated, which would mean the last time it was saved, an expiration date. Now you can set expiration dates in the save commands that you're using. You can also set expiration dates in options here based on the volume label. So anything labeled daily lasts for 12 days. Monthly labels, 30 days, yearly, and you can type in whatever values you want in here, as well as the number of days you want to keep those volumes. Also, to the right here, you have create new tape on an email on a create a new tape, email on load, backup completed, and a listing of the objects that were saved. That can be included in the email. So that basically gives you a report of what's been saved. Now, if you set up, if you set up your daily rotation of tape image files, then you don't have to worry about expiration dates. You may want to set those up for any monthly saves that you're doing, etc. So as you can see, you can store a lot of backups because of compression. There's also encryption built into the software if you want to take advantage of encryption of your backup data. If you're running Windows 2012 Server R2 with this software, that has deduplication, and so you can, if you want to utilize that technology within Windows for deduplication, you can do that. And then also we do have replication for those deduped saves. So if you're looking to replicate a backup, your backups to another location, another server at another location, then we also have replication software for those deduped backup volumes of your iSeries data. Okay, so let's talk about performing a save, creating a tape image file, and performing a save. So I'm going to go here to the iSeries. Tape 14 again is my UBD tape device. And what's really nice about this is that once you make that connection of the fiber channel cable from the iSeries to the UBD server, you're going to be able to have a tape device ready to go, because our software will be up and running as a service on the server, and so it's ready to start talking to the AS400 and allowing it to create the device description. So it's really simple to get this system up and running and going, and where you're doing backups pretty quickly. So here are some commands that we provide with UBD. Create UBD, which would be create a new tape image file. So number one, if you're using that, you may use this to go create your multiple daily rotation of tape image files. So you use tape 14 as your tape device and then have a tape image name, and you may have some sort of naming convention that you have currently or that you want to use, like you use with volume labels, to create your tape image files, so that you can then initialize those with INZ tape, which is the standard initialize tape command that's on the iSeries. So this just does create. It doesn't initialize, but it does create them. Number two is create and initialize. So in this case, you use tape 14, a tape image name, and a volume, and the command for that is INZUBD. So we have two different flavors of customers that perform their backup procedure. One is they set up their rotations, and then they mount the next rotation, and they initialize it, and then do their save. And then we have customers that create new ones each day, automatically before the backup is run. So, but the key to that, either one of those processes, or BRMS in case if you're using BRMS, is that it's going to be automated. So the whole process of creating the file or using an existing file, initializing the file, doesn't ever involve loading or unloading or moving of a tape. So this is all completely automated process of performing saves on disk. And it's a heck of a lot faster too. Okay, so mount an existing tape image file. So if you're needing to load a tape, it's work UBD. If you're needing to load a tape image file, I did the same thing a minute ago on the web interface. When I clicked on the tape image file and clicked load, this does the same thing here on the iSeries side to load the tape image file. Then there's also delete an existing tape image file, change to a different folder. So we have some customers that will set up a separate folder, say for another partition, right? And you want to go to that partition, to that folder, and restore to this partition. And so you can do, it's easily done to change the folder, excuse me, that saves or where saves from another partition are located where you may want to restore. You don't have to keep them in a separate folder if you don't want to, because the naming convention may be different if you set, depending on how you set up your tape image files. But that's a possibility. And then also you could have a separate tape image folder for archived copies. If you're having to store month-end copies for a period of time, you may want to set those up in a separate folder, whatever you want to do. Protect and unprotect. Protect means you can't delete the file until it becomes unprotected. Now I'm going to use a CL program to create my tape image file, one that one of my customers gave to me. And I'll show that to you now, because I'm going to create a tape image file, and I'm going to do a save and a restore. So we provide the commands that I just showed you a minute ago. So we provide the source for those commands if you need to copy any of the commands and use those into your procedure for your backup process, or to create your own procedure for creating tape images or mounting tape images. I'm going to use daily UBD for my to create my tape image, because I'm using the system date, Q date, returning that to a variable ampersand date and passing that to the tape image name and the volume name. So this is going to create my tape image file using the system date for the tape image name and the volume. So let's just run that to create my tape image file for my save. So that's done. Just takes a second. Let's go here and refresh. You'll see 2/20/15, today's date, mounted. So this is the same thing, only a lot easier, faster, as labeling and loading a tape. But it's also initialized. So this is, the tape is labeled, the tape is loaded, the tape is initialized, but instead it's a file, and it's going to disk, and it's going to be fast, and it's going to be automated, and I'm ready to do my save. So I'll go ahead and do a save. I'm just going to save the UBD library, tape 14. Let's see, it's a mounted volume, star mounted. Star, I'll just use rewind because I'm going to go ahead and do a restore. I'm going to leave it loaded and do a restore. And press enter. Okay, 28 objects. It's pretty small, so it just takes a second. Let's go to the web interface, refresh. We'll have 2 meg here. Now, if I had compression turned on, it would go ahead and do the compression during the backup. You can also set this up to do the compression after the backup is completed. So if you want to take advantage of the optimal speed, because running compression will slow the backup down slightly, not a lot. But if you're looking for optimal speed, then you can run the compression and the encryption after the backup has been completed. So now let's do a restore. I'm just going to leave that as my mounted volume. So restore live, UBD, tape 14, and then I'll just unload. Okay. Restore is complete. refresh. You can see 2/2015. There's the library that I saved right there. So that's all set, all restored, and everything's good to go. So that's everything. Sean, do you want to open up for any questions that folks might have?
Well, yes, thanks, X. Before I open the mic up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and paste my contact information to the chat window on the right side of the screen. If you'd like any additional information or interest in a more comprehensive demo, please feel free to contact me. That said, I'm going to go ahead and open up the mics.
Yeah, so if there's any questions, you folks are unmuted now. Feel free to ask, or you can type. I think that you can type in questions on the GoToMeeting thing as well, on the chat thing if you want to do that, or if you want to go ahead and ask a question.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, no questions. So everybody's good to go, ready to buy. Just kidding. But there also you can get with Sean about hardware requirements for the server. We use the ATO fiber channel card for the Windows server. The iSeries side, you just visit with your Sean. Are you their business partner for the iSeries side?
It depends on the customer. We have actually a couple of sites on.
Yeah. So if you're the business partner, then just get with IBM or your business partner, whomever configured your system for the fiber channel card on the iSeries side. If you don't already have one, so that's really it.
All right. Then I guess we'll draw this to, if there are no more questions, I guess we'll draw this to a conclusion. As I said, my information is on the in the chat window if anybody would like it. And look forward to hearing from you if you have any more, if you'd like any more information. Thank you very much. X, I appreciate it. This is a great presentation.
Thanks. Have a good day, everybody.
Have a great day, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.